Welcome to Bonehead Guitars. Let's go build some stuff.
My wallet. Where the lights were low.
Yeah, well, maybe not the smartest move, but I decided I'm going to look at putting some finish on it first. As far as the body goes, I can guard that somehow, so the threats aren't a problem. When I'm taping off the board, I don't know how most people do it, but because of the binding, we want some lacquer on the binding, but not on the board. So I overlap the edge just the tiniest little bit. Okay, because that's going to roll across and you're going to wind up shaving it off anyway. I try to kind of cover the end of the frets, and meanwhile, while I'm putting it down, I try to mash the tape between the frets, otherwise it won't. If you got a loose grip there, well, if you have gaps in it, then you can wind up getting lacquer in there and on the board. Okay, I sanded everything down again with 220. To make sure it's all smooth. Now I'm going to hit everything with tack cloth, which is horrible stuff. Just to make sure all the dust is off. Also, since I'm using the Stumac spoke nut truss rod, I want to make sure I mask that off too, because I certainly don't want the threads of the nut getting all gooped up with lacquer. That would be bad. Now, I don't have a spray booth, and I'm using junk in a can. So I'm going to go outside the garage. I'm going to spray the body, I'm going to spray the head, part of the neck. I'm going to come hang it up and finish the neck. Really, really, really light coats, because I know from the last one this stuff runs really easy. So we're just going to do 40 gazillion coats of really, really light stuff. So that's what we're going to do. When it comes to finish, I'm definitely not going to claim to know what the hell I'm talking about. Like I said, I started with tung oil, true oil, wipe-on poly. Just started using lacquer from a can. But I had pretty good luck with the last one. I did several coats. Hit it with 320 paper on the random orbital. Leveled it pretty fast and easy. There were a couple places on the back where it did go through, so I got to be careful with that. I wasn't that worried about the back, but yeah. So I got to be careful with that. Finished it up. Well, yeah, I mentioned I wet sanded 600 and then 1500. And then I used foam pads on the random orbital with fine and ultra fine car polish, and it made a pretty damn shiny face. So I'm not too worried. I mean, for my purposes, I'm still wearing it. This is the 4th guitar I've made, so it's going to turn out nice enough, and it's not like I'm selling it. It's going to be mine. So, I don't know. Like I said at the beginning, I'm having fun. That's the point. I can't stop. I love working in the shop and working on wood, and I don't know what the hell I'd be doing if I wasn't doing guitars. Couldn't do Pinewood Derby cars forever. So, however it turns out, I'm going to call it a plus. I know we're up to a whole bunch of boneheads, and we're getting close to finishing it. So, meanwhile, it's probably about time to start working on electronics. Gotten to where, again, I have absolutely no clue what the hell I'm doing. Get diagrams online. Seymour Duncan's a good place to get them. Try to piece together from that what I need to do, and soldering's not a big deal. It's just knowing how to hook everything up. So, what I've been doing in the past, I give me a piece of cardboard, and I'll usually have a template for how my controls are laid out. I'll poke holes in the cardboard, so I have pretty much the same placement. I'll put my controls in there and do my soldering there, so I can just drop them in, solder the pickups and the jack, and off and running. So, as long as I'm waiting for lacquer to dry, this is a good thing to do. May be premature to do so. I've got several coats of lacquer on this thing, so at least on the back, I'm going to hit it with the orbital with 320 just to flatten a little bit, see how it looks. It's kind of hard to tell exactly how thick it is, so I'm just going to knock on it and see what happens. I'm afraid to go any deeper. It's pretty smooth, but there's still some texture in spots. Front's probably a different story. Maple is hard and dense enough that it's pretty easy to polish. I may have enough on here that I can just knock the orange peel off and be nice and smooth on it. I think I'll hit it a little just to flatten and see how it goes. I don't know that I'm done putting coats on it. It'd be awfully hard to lacquer the rest of it and not touch the front, but I'm going to hit it a little just for fun. Yeah, I think I'll be getting a few more coats of lacquer. So I can still see orange peel, but I'm afraid to go too much deeper. I guess that's part of the perils of using lacquer from a can. Yeah, well, anywho.